So, raid size and difficulty. Difficulty have always been controversial. Trust me, I've literally played since pretty much the beginning. You see, every expansion used to change things drastically. We've had 40-man raids, 10-man raids, 25-man raids, and even back in, say, Wrath of the Lich King, 10 basically was easy mode, where 25 would kind of be the harder mode. It's really been confusing, but they started codifying things in Cataclysm, where they did 10 and 25 with shared lockouts. That basically gave us years of only having normal and heroic. But as time went on, things began to evolve. We had a few really cool optional hard mode boss triggers, say the likes of Ulduar.
Alright, I increased the volume here because I noticed that the volume was being lowered without me knowing it on the microphone. So right now I'm trying something. We'll see how that works. There will probably be it will probably be too loud, but it is what it is. I'm not going to speak much anyways, doesn't really matter to me. I felt like queuing games. I was playing my druid tank objectives in randoms, and I was really close to queuing Blitz because I had the gear acquired, but then I decided to just go main before bed. So play a few games, see how it feels. No real warm-ups rogue-wise. I mean, I played a couple of hours ago, but that was a while ago. Yeah, alright. See you later. Peace. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off Bellular while I'm playing. I need to focus up. Peace. No music either. We're going all in. We're having music. Never mind. I don't know. No, we do without music. I want to see how I play. See where the brain is. They have triple Assas Rogue. This will be a great game. Sadly, there's no tank. A tank would have been great because then we would have the rogues and we would have the yeah, it would just been great. But whatever, it's what it is. Peace.
How generous.
This is a great game. Great game. Amazing game. Amazing game. This was so much fun. Amazing game. Absolutely amazing.
Then, after that, we had Normal and Heroic. Then, LFR, Normal and Heroic. But everything changed whenever Flex came along. You see, Flex was a mode made for the Siege of Orgrimmar raid that was easier than Normal, but harder than LFR, and scaled between 10 and 25 players. Its idea was simple: let people play the game, and if someone in your team doesn't show up, say in your 25-man guild, that's fine. And that setup is still around today, pretty much 11 years, 12 years later. But in patch 1207, we are finally getting another change to the raid system. In an interview with Max of Liquid, Blizzard designers announced the upcoming one-boss raid, Sporefall, is going to scale between 15 and 25 players on Mythic difficulty. And what that means is Mythic Flex is finally real. Now, obviously, this is a test. They're not committing to it for the entire future. They want to see, though, if raid size really is the problem. And by problem, I quite simply mean that there's many guilds like, say, mine. We tend to raid with like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people. If we wanted to start doing mythics, which quite a few of us do actually want to do, we would need to recruit way more players. But with Mythic Flex, all we need to do is hit 15 players. Blizzard's big test, then, is that once this feature gets enabled, will more guilds, like say the one that I'm in, step up to Mythic now that this roster can be a bit more flexible. Now, in the interview, lead game designer Taylor Sanders also told Max that they're aware of how hard it is to transition to Mythic from Heroic, and basically they're running this one boss as an experiment, where it'll be Flex for Sporefall only, basically just to see if letting Heroic guilds taste some Mythic works out. Sadly, though, it is an early thing, and that actually means there's a 0 chance that we'll get Mythic Flex for the 12.1 raid. That's unfortunate, but I'm not going to bust Blizzard's balls on it because 1201 is right after 1207, and there's no point in rushing the findings of their experiment. But what I do think is it's an insanely good experiment. It basically has my whole guild excited. I've heard similar from way more people that I've talked about. So if this paves the way for a more accessible Mythic, by which I mean one that you can step into and access because the roster requirements are not as fixed, then hopefully that properly rock-hard difficulty will be open to more people. You know what? I think we may be some of those people. Heroic Lura is some of the most fun I've had in World of Warcraft, probably since Heroic Razageth. And that's because, unlike end bosses of the last, most of the last patches, Lura is actually hard. Hard in a way that your Sarkareths and your Pharax and your War Within end bosses, even Dimensius, weren't. So if this works out, it will be a massive boon for World of Warcraft. And the big reason why is that their encounters are quite simply some of the best. Time I talked about Lura. So Lura is one of the best bosses of all time. Yeah, I really do think that. It might be one of the most mechanically intense fights that we've faced together as a guild in quite some time. Maybe it's not the hardest, but it's definitely one of the most fun. One of the most fun in my memory. Definitely tops the likes of Lei Shen, who has existed in my top tier of bosses for a very long time indeed. I think it was also WoW game director Ian Hazacostas' favorite raid boss for at least quite a bit of time. But anyway, it is clear via the likes of Lura that WoW's encounter designers have massively leveled up in recent years. The personal responsibility stuff in the Lura fight is insane, in a good way. Dodging glaives, placing runes, and managing the crystals makes the entire fight an engaging cooperative experience for almost everyone. It feels amazing. And it's a fight that every player has got to contribute to, instead of just the raid leader figuring out a strategy and issuing orders to people. And it really is good in the details. The intermissions dodges are super tight. Aiming the beams at the cores in Phase 2 takes precision, not just standing on the random marker that your raid leader dropped for you. It is so much fun that it has single-handedly lit a fire under our whole guild. And not just Lura, because Illyria and Beleren were amazing fights as well. Raiding in WoW is genuinely some of the best that it's ever been, at least for us, and that makes us want to progress to Mythic, to rise up to that challenge. But managing 20 people is a complete nightmare. We usually raid with a 13 to 14 person roster, and even then we usually have a few people missing. It's heroic. We would pretty much be screwed every because we can't really move up the difficulty anymore. We're playing WoW for way longer. Long enough to, perhaps, be excited by features like, say, the Void Core. And if Blizzard can get that kind of thing right, then raiding for the entire span of a season, even through both of its minor patches, well, that actually could be a viable thing in a way that for guilds like ours, it just has not been in years. So I hope this experiment is a success, because the Encounter team and all the people supporting them, like with art, music, sound effects, it's just all coming together incredibly. And it's a shame that only a small percentage of players get to see its most grand version with Mythic. Now obviously, Flex can be harder to design. You'll run into issues where certain teams can play will at least give it a try. Recent raids are too fun not to. The problem is, they have, on heroic difficulty, been so easy that they quite simply have not lasted. So it's a good experiment for Blizzard, and you know what? I think it's part of a whole new strategy as well. Raiding's obviously not the only gameplay WoW is pushing these days, and this week's patch is evidence of that. It's adding a new upper tier of Mythic Plus raiding, and what they're doing here is really cool. So if you hit 3400 or above, you'll get Keystone Myth, which will get you a Time Lost saddle. You'll then be able to trade that in for some new mount recolors or for an old Keystone Master or Legend mount of your choice. And it's from a pretty damn long list too. Plus, if you're in the top 1% of Mythic Plus rating in a region, you will get the Umbral Champion title and a new exclusive mount. Basically, it's like the Gladiator mount from PvP, but for Mythic Plus. Pretty awesome. But they're actually doing...
I was listening to this before I went live, or I was live, but I was listening on my phone, basically. So I'm not gonna re-listen to it. We're going back to LS that I was listening to yesterday. Right, LS machine, man versus machine part 1. Here we go. Peace.
Is Isle of Wolf. Okay, so the best Terran player on the face of the planet.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Now there enters this age of Zergs are getting crushed and stuff, and then there's a Zerg player that arises to the occasion. He's one of the legendary Zergs. However, he I feel really bad for him because he would have been much more famous and he would have been much more popular if he had not been unpleasing to look at. And his name is July Zerg. And so July Zerg enters the scene, and I think he was the first Zerg that took down Isle of Wolf. So Isle of Wolf had this thing where he was 27-0. 27-0 versus Zerg. Okay, so like imagine like League of Legends is a 1v1 game or something, and I don't know, you're like old Garen versus Riven or something, okay? Like, Garen's just always supposed to win. It's supposed to be almost impossible to lose as Garen against Riven. It's one of the hardest counters in the game. Or like Teemo versus Poppy, okay? So 27-0 and is Isle of Wolf. Okay, so the best Terran player on the face of the planet, you are going up against him when he is 27-0, and your name is July Zerg. And what ends up happening is you come up with not only this algorithm that is equal to Isle of Wolf's tornado. So, okay, so if Isle of Wolf has a tornado, all right, like or a bug or whatever the fuck we call it, all right, now this is his machine. You have a machine that is just as strong as Oob's, except your machine has something that is different from Oob's in that your machine can change, which is something that, you know, Oobs and Reaches and other players have not ever encountered before. They have not encountered a machine that is able to change mid-match to become an extremity. So, you know, July's thing changes and it cuts off all of this part and then it swirls upwards over here. And that's just really weird because it looks unstable and it looks chaotic. And this is why There was recently a comment on one of my coaching videos about hold on, let me find this really quick. Let me find it on YouTube, and then I will show you guys. So I had a coaching session up on YouTube recently, and I was asked to take it down, which is, you know, it's fine. And so I'm just gonna look at one of the comments. So right. Okay, so here we're gonna look at this. Okay, so here's the session. Okay, so it was up for a few days, and then I had to take it down, and that was fine. So first off, let's look at let's look for the comment, because it says a lot about the average person. Obviously it's a hate comment / troll comment, but that's completely fine because I'm going to educate you guys on why what he's saying is very bad, and it's also, it lacks understanding. However, what he is saying has merit, provided that I obtain a stable algorithm. Provided I obtain a hyper-refined, machine that is equivalent to player X, and we're gonna get to player X in a little bit, because this is what League is moving towards. But right now, League is literally fucking. It's not even at like. It's barely getting to nada. So if you remember the beginning of this stream, okay, like League is there.
LS is so fucking great. I love LS. I have to re-listen to this. It's so good. Meanwhile, you have WoW rank 1s crying and like crying and crying.
Hyper refined, machine that is equivalent to player X, and we're gonna get to player X in a little bit, because this is what League is moving towards. But right now, League is literally fucking. It's not even at like. It's barely getting to nada. So if you remember the beginning of this stream, okay, League is just getting to Slayer's Boxer. It's not even at nada yet. So let's not even fucking talk about I Love Uven Reach, because it is so far away from Uven Reach. We're literally talking 2 to 3 years, assuming that EU and NA gets its fucking act together, before we start having I Love Uven Reach. So right now we're in the Boxer era, and we're about to enter into the Nada era. But before we enter into the Nada era, still stuff has to happen, because there's gonna be a bunch of fucking people that are still stuck on the Boxer era, and that's just, you know, how it is. Now, Korea, however, is in the Nada era. Korea is not, however, yet in the I Love Uv era, and maybe Korea won't get into the I Love Uv era because, you know, Riot Games, we care about the growth of our game and the fans, so we're gonna make the best esports organization in history of esports, which single-handedly made our game inside of Korea, divvy it up with a org that, you know, has not proven that, you know. So anyways, so maybe League in Korea is about to have a decline, and we don't know. And if that is the case, then Korea will eventually get to an I Love Uv era, but it's going to happen much slower. It's like, imagine if you have funding, okay, there's Super Virus V, okay, and you have $1 million a month being pumped into funding to find a vaccine for Super Virus V or whatever the fuck it is. And then all of a sudden, your funding gets cut to $250,000. Yeah, you're probably still gonna find it eventually, okay, if we acknowledge that there is a cure, there's a vaccine, whatever, that exists for it, but it's not gonna happen as fast, because now you don't have the manpower that you once had, because the funding was cut. And maybe that's what's about to happen in Korea. But regardless, Korea is still ahead. Korea is not necessarily ahead because all the players are specifically better. Korea.
Another war song Gulch. Those assassination rogues didn't have a chance. Why is instance on? I don't want this. Nope, I'm not having that. Why is that on? I just want to focus on myself. I was super close to picking flag after the second pick, or the second whatever the fuck it's called that we did, the point, I guess. And then also I was expecting them to cap as well. So there was a lot of things going on. I was like, okay, shit, we have 3 minutes. I need to make sure that we don't drop the ball here. So yeah, that was a good game. That was a really fun game to play. Even if we would have lost, like it was super fun. Let's check here. Okay. Wait, do we have a tank? No, we don't. Something feels weird with the order. I don't know why it's... Is it... God damn it. Hold on. No, where is it? Is it mod? Shit, can't remember. I'm gonna turn off the mic soon. Plan is simple. I grab Zerk, I slow, I play defense, and then I play offense. I mean, I slow the offense, their offense, and then I go D. Let's see. Damn it. Because I was talking. Anyways, peace. We always play to the end. We don't care what the number is. We play to the fucking end. That's the way it goes. That was a fun game. That was a really fun game. That was high octane. Oops. That was a really fun game, actually. What's this? Galactic. What the fuck is that? Is that Legion? What's this? Combine. Huh? Okay. Increasing the minimum item level. 298 in battle. What the? Why did they add that? 298 in battle. Oh my god, that's not good. It's the eye level creep thing. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's really bad. That's not good. That adds more eye levels that we need to fucking... Oh, I don't like that. That's not like... That messes up a lot of things for players that begin later. I really don't like that. Whatever. I'm gonna listen to LS, and then I think this is the last game, and then I'm off. We'll see. That was a fun game. But no, I'm just... I'll analyze later. Doesn't matter. Peace.
As ahead because the...
And I don't mean during stream. Like now. Like today I'm just sleeping early, so that's a different thing.
Players understand the Nada error, whereas the West is still barely, still on the Boxer era. And Korea is headed, again, if we go back to the phases, if you remember, a punch is just a punch is more than a punch is just a punch. Korea is if we're talking about the Nada era as having 3 phases, and the Boxer era as having 4 phases, because it is the first phase that exists, then Korea is on the 3rd phase of the Nada, whereas the West is on like the 3rd phase of Boxer, about to enter into the 1st phase of Nada. So anyways, so let's talk about this comment really fast. Here it is. Okay. So Neo Viper says, your coaching methods are idiotic. Thank you, Neo Viper. You make everything more complicated than you need to, with somewhat wrong examples. You have no structure on your videos either. The way you speak and analyze things, parentheses, identify the problem, make sure he knows it, possible solutions. No wonder the people you coach stopped following your advices and went back to their old ways, which he's talking about the thing where I say inside of this video that some people that I coach, they stick to what I'm doing, or they stick to what I advise for 10-20 games, because 10 to 20 games to an average league player that only plays 2 games a day, it is a considerable amount of time, but to a player that plays 15 to 20 games a day, that's obviously not a lot of time. But anyways, so what I said was, they follow what I say for, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, okay? And then they don't find success with it, and they give up on it. And that is exactly what I'm talking about right now with the Isle of Uv and the Reach, because those people are the priest from that video that goes, fuck this, because they don't want to actually improve. They don't actually want to get better, which is the problem. Because I tweeted about this a while ago, and I got some flack for it on Twitter, was that most pro players, and when I say most, I mean 99% of pro players in the West and, China, even, some of the ones in Korea. Korea's not completely innocent. They have players like this. They like the idea of being a top professional player, but they don't actually commit what is necessary to obtain it. They are obsessed with the idea of it. Which, makes them remain in the scene, but it doesn't mean that they're going to improve. So what he's saying, it's not totally wrong, but he's not understanding that, of course.
I cannot remember how we move in this fucking dungeon. It's been too long. God damn it. And the timing with LS, the way he's speaking is perfect. I hope Q pops.
There's going to be people that they give up, that's just standard. So when you have a coach that you try to teach this algorithm, the machine approach to League of Legends, I'm not surprised that a lot of people give up, because people don't want to be a machine. They don't want to do this. No, they want to be able to hit a machine with a virus, or hit it with a bug, or hit it with something and get a small win. They want cheap wins, they want fast ways out, etc. Now, it doesn't mean that some players don't like getting those fast wins, those cheap wins, etc. via macro, because there are people like that. But it doesn't mean that they actually like macro, because there are players, for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I'll crucify myself. In StarCraft 1, I did not do 2-fact rushes. Okay, 2-factory was an extremely aggressive TVP build. I did not do 2-fact port. Okay, 2-fact port in TVP. I did not do 3-fact. I never did stuff like this. Okay, these are hyper aggressive cheeses. I never did shit like that. But what I did do is I would do. I remember the person that I took it from. His ID was Biperfective. I did 6-fact. It's called a Hanbing, or a one-shot timing. So basically, I would macro up for 12 to 14 minutes, and I would move out with this gigantic ball of all-in. And that was like a macro cheese. And I was fine for a short period of time during my career in StarCraft 1, or whatever you want to call it, where I was content with that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a lot of units, I'm going to move out, and I'm going to hit you. What I was not content with was making a lot of units for 14 minutes, slowly expanding to my third, slowly expanding to my fourth, and reading everything the opponent was going to do, because fuck that, too hard. Like, that's too difficult. I don't want to have a 20-minute slugfest. I don't want to have a 25-minute slugfest. So through this, we can determine that I wanted cheap wins, and I wanted fast takedowns and stuff, but the way that I did it was a little bit more stable than, the people that do 2-fact, the people that do 3-fact, the people that do 2-fact port, anything like that. And so through that, I am not the loose aggressive maniac. I'm just the maniac, in some ways, or I'm like the, I fucking semi-stable maniac or something, because my build would counter some of the cheeses inherently, just because, or innately, just because I have a lot of fucking units, and it would counter a lot of gimmicks, but it would lose to someone that had a very, very stable and sound macro, that also had extreme refinement over their micro, because again, it's a one-shot timing, it's a one-hit, all or nothing, and if they resist, you're basically dead. So that's, whatever. So anyways, so we go back to his comment, and he says, I already read that. No wonder the people you coach stopped following your advices and went back to their old ways, which means trying to improve their mechanics. Because honestly, the difference between a master and a gold player are mainly mechanics. No, that is no. When you simplify.
That comment is so. That is rank 1 WoW mentality. Do damage, team fight, the damage meter. Like that, it's so rank 1 mentality in WoW. That's where it is. It's below. Okay, I'd forgotten where this one is. The rare. It's below the city, but I can't remember where I enter. Is it here? Because I'm trying to gain rep. Why is it up though? I cannot remember. Like, it's been too many years, man. Is it 8? No. Okay. Is it? I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not like, I can't remember, dude. Because I didn't play Lemix as they call it. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. That's so rank 1. Let me. I'm Talbadar, Gladiator, old school mindset. Tosin. Anyways, let's move on.
Something like that. Now, okay, if I simply say the difference between a master player and a gold player is mechanics, yes, that technically is true. A punch is just a punch is more than a punch is just a punch. However, for this guy's mind, okay, because he cannot yet actually conceive step 3, he can't even pretend to understand it. No, because he's skipping step 2. He doesn't even know why a punch is just a punch yet. He's taking a shot in the dark, and his shot in the dark technically is correct, but it's also more wrong than anything. Which I guess is a little bit weird for people. But no, that's not true at all, because there is differences between diamond players. There's differences between master players, how one achieves master, etc. And then also to simply state that master is somehow this tier of enlightenment, or this tier where players are good. No, you're not good. You're not fucking good. You're top 100 challenger, you're bad relative to standards. Because see, I feel like, and I even said it in this video, when I say a challenger player is bad or an LCS player is bad, etc., they don't understand that I am holding them to the standards of UV and Reach. Obviously, you're not bad if you're in the LCS, compared to the standards of, the world or something. Imagine all the Protoss players that weren't Reach or they weren't UV. Obviously, they're not bad. They're in the top 0.00x percentile of the game. However, relative to Reach, relative to UV, yeah, you're really fucking bad. And don't say that you're not. You're so far behind them. Because when you reach the top tier, when you start reaching the pinnacle of gameplay, it gets so much harder. And the analogy, or the references that I use a lot is Ragnarok Online. So if you ever played the MMO Ragnarok Online, to go from level 1 to 96 was, now again, these numbers could be a little bit wrong, 1 million XP. To go from 96 to 97, now you're like, oh, that's only one level. No, 2 million XP. It takes double the amount of XP needed from all of 1 to 96. Literally everything in between 1 to 96 is 1 mil. Now, 96 to 97 is 2 mil. And when the game caps at a certain XP rate, that's pretty daunting, because there was a period in Ragnarok where it didn't matter how good you were, it would take, regardless of what amount of effort you put in, 2 months to get 99 or something. Just because it was retarded. Like the highest XP per kill you could find was 5,000, and or actually I think it was even less than that. I want to say it was 3,000. I could be wrong. I think it was like 3,000, and the spawns on the map were very limited, and you needed something ridiculous, like 12 million XP. Yeah, that takes a really long time of just sitting there and farming. And if you're in a party, because you can't necessarily solo it 100%, well, now your XP is getting cut in half, and that takes even longer. So now what ends up happening is now 97 to 98, it spikes 6 mil, and then 98 to 99 is 12 mil. Or, something like that. Obviously, these numbers could be a little bit wrong. But this is just like League. This is Bronze to Diamond 5. Okay? This is Bronze to Diamond 5. This is Diamond 5 to Diamond 3. Alright? And this is Diamond 3 to Master. And then this is Master to Challenger. And then Challenger is, where we become World of Warcraft temporarily. And, we introduce, why can't I go down? Oh, okay, hold on one second. Wait, 1 second. Where's the thing? Oh, okay. 1 second. 5-5. Okay, this is Bronze to Diamond 5. This is Diamond 5 to Diamond 3. Alright, and this is Diamond 3 to Master. And then this is Master to Challenger. And then Challenger is, where we become World of Warcraft temporarily. And, we introduce, why can't we? Okay. And then, you know, you go down, and now you want to go 99 to 100. Well, this is where, you know, this is where you go 200 challenger to, I don't know, top 75 challenger, okay? And then you go even further, okay? And I can keep going. You can go level 100 to 101. Okay, or maybe it's World of Warcraft and we added 5 levels. And each increment is going to be ridiculously more difficult than the rest, because if you actually want to be at the very top, the undisputed, you know, the Isle of Uv, okay, you're looking at 100, you're like 150 million experience or something, just to give you an example. People don't want to do that, okay? So again, going back to what I talked about he's like, no wonder people give up on some of the stuff that I say. Well, of course they do, because some people that they come to me, you know, they're very argumentative. They are not open-minded. They don't think that they suck because they've been led to believe that gold is a decent rating. You know, gold's not a decent rating, and I've said this a million times. Say it with me. I'm gold and I suck. You're platinum, you're bad too. Diamond, you're shit as well. All right, Diamond 3, great. Now you're just fucking, I don't know. Now you're just the runs. Like, you're not anything special. Like, you're not, you know, like, Diamond 1, alright, you're moving your way up to a stomach flu, alright? Like, you get into Master Tier, great. You're like, you're something, you know? You're food poisoning. But, like, we can keep going up like this, alright? Like, you're terrible. And if you think that you're not terrible because Riot Games tells you that, well, only, you know, the top 24% of players are in gold. No one cares, man. Honestly, like, you wouldn't tell someone that gets a C in high school on a test that it's okay. No, obviously it's not. You got an 88 on a test, your parents think that's fine. It's not, okay? Like, people, they criticize, like, Asian parents or something for being like 100's not acceptable. If you think about it, okay, if you go back, you know, if you're like an adult right now, you're in college, university or something, you go back and you think about yourself in 8th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade, and you actually wonder about the questions that were being asked to you. They're retarded simple. They're bad. You would be ashamed if you don't go back in time now and get 100 on the test, wouldn't you? Well, then, if it's so simple and so easy, then why didn't you get 100 on it in the first place? Well, LS, you know, I had to spend 2 hours at Timmy's after school, and actually my IQ's only 105, but, you know, talent doesn't exist. It's bad. Like, don't try to doctor it up. It's bad.
I love LS. I love LS. Imagine having people like that within World of Warcraft that you can discuss with at the levels, man. That would be the dream. But yeah, it's what it is. I'll just discuss with myself. But yeah, it's man. Oh, holy shit. LS, man. Because it's the Thorin mindset, but from the gamer perspective instead of like the entertainer, analyzer, complainer, like, yeah. So it's from a different, but anyways, yeah, it's basically a variant of Thorin and me. Like, us three were very similar in very many ways. Very, very similar. We would have a fucking blast. Anyways, I'm gonna keep on listening, but yeah. Queue's really slow right now. That's 17 minutes. I should go to bed. I shouldn't play another game, because I'll probably be too tired, and then it will be a map I don't even want to play. And problem is, like, if it's a another flag map, that could be an issue too, because I don't think I have the... Oh, that was a good thing, actually, when I decided to keep on hitting on a rogue. I can't remember which game that was, but I like that. And not going for stuns, but just hitting. And then also when I actually completely fucking zoned out and just went full fucking ape shit, just wanted to do damage, and then just died. And I was like, wait, I died? Because I was so focused on just doing damage, which usually doesn't happen because I try to think of other things. And that was also really good, because that also shows that I'm getting into the DPS mentality. Like, even more and more, which is what I need. Then at some point I was like, which buttons am I even pressing? And I was, because I was like, I'm not going to look at the buttons, like I need to look at the game. So the fact that I'm super tired, I've had a super long day, there's been a lot of things happening at very high different levels, IRL, and then the fact that I'm tired and then play the game, no like rogue warm-ups, just logged on after playing the druid. And yes, I did play the rogue like hours before that, but what I'm saying is these were games without being like, okay, now my rogue is back, or now I feel warmed up, or like I just played. But yeah, yeah, like this, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. There's something else I'm thinking of, can't remember. The distance is kind of annoying here. I should kill, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Ah, too far away. Yeah. Also, I don't need to skin anymore, by the way, because I already have the... yeah, okay, God, it reached. I mean, good. It's that, no, okay, it's this one. Wait, do I need to... no, I just need to kill, okay. So another thing when you're questing is that if you kill but don't loot, you might miss out on like, oh, this extra quest drops from this mob, blah, blah, blah. But I'm compensating with world quests and stuff, so I don't care. Like, I'm trying to do things the fastest way possible. Also, I should clean up my bags, but it is what it is. Having an absolute fucking blast, bro. Ass blast, bro. Is it below? Yeah. It's funny how some memories stick. That wasn't a memory from now. That was an old memory. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna leave Q. That yawn tells me, and also like the time, like it's not worth it. So that was 2 games, was it? 2 Wars and Gulches, I think. Can't, no, it feels like feels like I played 3 games. Not sure. We won 1, lost, oh God, what's this? Cacao. Flap. We skipped this. We're not doing this. There's no way. There's no fucking way that I dropped Q for this. Wait, maybe this is... I just remember that this is an older quest, so this isn't as annoying as the old ones. I just realized. Yeah. Or was it? Fuck it. It's fine. We have let's do that. Let's go here, Valajar. Oh, great yawns. All right. The clock has left me. I need to go. Also, I had 6 followers and then I lost 2. That's perfect. That's why I said yesterday that I'm hoping that it's bots. Because then I like the less I have, the better. Because then I can just do things the way that I want to without any distractions. Just like the way that I PvP. Muting chat is so good. It's so powerful. Let's see. Yeah, I like that too. The way that I zone out is different now than it was in the past too. It's but I'm also zoned out, like the way life works. When I take breaks now, I take complete fucking breaks, like completely, like, yeah. And Yeah, and that's really good too. But what I'm noticing is that it's bleeding into the game as well, which I think is good. Because that means that when I'm playing the game, I'm building other muscles mentally. Unseal urn. Don't care. I don't need the emblem, but I'm keeping the emblem. And then later on, I'll buy a different emblem. Oh yeah, that's the one. Let's try that. Let's see. I don't know if it's worth. Yeah, okay. I don't think this one is no, right? Yeah, garbage. What about this one? Okay, so there's two. Alright. Yeah, good games. That's the thing too. The fact that I could log in. Log. Log in and just play games and then be done. Like I like that. That's really good. Right now I actually need it on this one. I'll do this because we get a lot of gear from. Oh, this is the wrong. This is. Well, it is speed actually. Because I'm gonna use this gear in Mage Tower. Oh. I want to try some things. Yeah, that yawn is good. All right, I'm done. Powder. Was it? Pow. Okay, yeah. We are done. A little bit of LS and then we're off.
Bad. Okay. You know, like, Jesus, fuck. Like, it's bad. Anyways, so let's go back to the comment now. So we're gonna go back to the comment, and so okay. Gold player will never do well versus a master player because he will abuse his mechanics to get a big gold lead either from kills or huge CS advantage. Now, this is true, but not 100% of the time, because even the best player in the world, I Love Uv, could lose to something because his algorithm considers it extinct. Okay, and that's something that, you know, that is some of the most strategically brilliant things that occurs sometimes in esports, is when you resurrect something so bad and so fucking terrible, it's good. Okay, and this happened in StarCraft, and it actually, I'm gonna get to it. In 2009, there was a build called 2-Gate. Okay, 2-Gate was your just get out. Like, hello, like, if you're at a party and you heard that someone uses 2-Gate, like, they're sitting alone, okay, on the couch, okay? If the couch was full, people would rather stand than sit next to you. Like, that's how bad 2-Gate was in 99.99% of situations. Well, there came a time where, for some small frame, okay, 2-Gate was like the god tier build, okay? And it was because it was so bad. It is so fucking bad. It was so good. Because it was so bad. And it's sort of like Independence Day. Like, what did we, like, shoot down the mothership with? We, like, okay, so spoilers if you haven't seen Independence Day. So, Independence Day, Earth is under attack from these aliens, and some fucking asshole gets this, like, brilliant idea to hit the mothership of the entire alien race with a simple computer virus, okay? And the mothership, you know, anything, like a really good virus, fucking, it would knock it away. Super, you know, super EMP or something, nope, it is prepared for that. But you hit it with, like, a Norton antivirus, which is like a virus in itself, okay? The system, like, looks at you with two faces because it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's like you're, like, stabbing it in the hip, and it, like, can't believe that you're using a knife in the year 2500, okay, where, like, there's, like, lasers and, like, fucking, I don't know, lightsaber type shit, and you're, like, you're using, like a shank, and you're like stabbing the fucking thing in the stomach, and it's just like looking at you, and it's like fucking having like a realization that it's actually happening, and it just lets you keep stabbing it, and it just smiles because it's like beautiful that it's getting to experience like time travel, even though time travel still doesn't exist yet. You know what I mean? And then it dies, okay? Because you are so bad that in a day and age that you can just make like a lightsaber, somehow you're using a shank, and it is so stupefied and mystified by whatever it is that you're doing that it just can't compute. And so we take down the entire mothership and the entire alien race with a fucking Norton antivirus type virus thing going on, and they didn't know what hit them, okay? And so that's what ends up happening, okay? So that can happen in a gold versus master tier, or a challenger player versus a gold player. That can entirely happen. You know, that like something inconceivable goes on and it is considered so bad that it ends up working once. And then like the system gets like a jump start, and it's like, oh wait a minute, so that person that's like smiling getting stabbed and stuff, they go, oh wait, that's actually gonna kill me, hold on, wait a second, and they just like pull out a gun and shoot the person. That's what ends up happening. But that gun being pulled out doesn't happen until the next game, okay, because the stabbing has to go on for a little while. So it's like like that's what happens. So we're gonna continue on with the guy's comment. So let's see. To get a big gold lead from either kill, okay. If the gold guy plays really passive, and of course snowballing a lead is extremely important too. Yes, but there is a million ways to snowball a lead, which he's not even touching on. He probably doesn't even know exists. I don't even know who this guy is, but I'm taking the comment as a troll. But for those that are wondering, there is a million ways to snowball a win. There is ways to snowball it via your own lane, snowball it through the map, snowball it through your teammates, transferring your snowball into another lane. Like there's so many ways to do it. There's ways to do it via a stranglehold. There's ways to do it through, a one-shot all-in, because your advantage is too big. They can't actually resist the weight. Anyways, kind of reminded me of a woman trying to tell you a story and then constantly leaning away from the subject. I only watched 3 of your videos, so I might be wrong at some points, but especially your examples and the way you lead the conversation, the speed and tone of your voice, have almost as much room to grow as the people you coach and leak. See, now this is where he's right, but he's wrong. He's right if I have ascended to the super bugs, okay? Like these super algorithms. Absolutely, and I've talked about that a million times, because I even say it in this video, I'm a bad coach, right? But I'm bad relative to what I know exists in the future, or what can exist, and how it can be improved on, and what ways you can go about it. But I also say, arrogantly, that others are worse. So it's like, you can be really bad and still be good, okay? It's like gold. Obviously people are worse than gold, right? Silvers and bronze. And then there are people that are silver and they're still worse than silver. It's like that Mundo that after like 9,000 games still takes heal. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, Sheriff Buford or something is his name? Like, I would never want to have a conversation with that person. Single-handedly, he could scare off the HIV virus. Like, just, that's like out of here, Like, get out of here with that. So anyways, we're gonna finish up his thing. Now, inside of now something can appear chaotic, but it's not actually chaotic. It is an algorithm, because I do not totally believe that something is ever completely random, at least not 100%. So if you see here, we're gonna wipe this again, okay. If you see something, and I'm just gonna type random numbers. Now obviously this is random, but it's not technically random because my fingers have to know subconsciously where they're pressing, and thus there is a pattern because my fingers are deciding on a subconscious level where and when they're gonna move. Because of that, some pattern seeker, something, could detect when somehow it's obviously going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be extremely hard to pinpoint when, where, and why that shift in my subconscious or conscious whatever is occurring, but it can be found. Okay, I refuse to believe, unless I am not of the right state of mind, okay, if I am completely out there and there's other things taking effect, or if the computer is randomly entering in numbers or whatever, that's the only way that it's random. But even this is not random. At the end of the day, all these numbers, as random as they appear, they are not random. And so when a lot of people talk about that I'm constantly all over the place in a coaching session, and I don't have structure and I go off on random tangents. No, that's all intentional. And it's not random, and it could appear random to some people because, like, look at me in this session. I'm going from tornadoes to superbugs to fucking Sheriff Buford to Ragnarok but it's not random. At the end of the day, it has a core, it originates back to something. And it's your job to find out that something. And if you find out the something, you did not just bust through one of the walls. So, like, okay, if there's a million tunnels, okay, and they all lead to, so here's the fucking whatever, okay, and there's millions of ways to get here or something. We're just gonna do random fucking circles, okay, and it's like a maze or something. If you take apart every single wall, every single structure that was, is actually related to it, because it is a maze of relation, or it's a maze built up of things that add up and they go together, you will understand so much more about this end thing than you could ever if you just took one path in. Like millions of ways to get here or something. We're just gonna do random fucking circles, okay, and it's like a maze or something. If you take apart every single wall, every single structure that was, is actually related to it, because it is a maze of relation, or it's a maze built up of things that add up and they go together. You will understand so much more about this end thing than you could ever if you just took one path in. And because of my philosophy with
What he said right there is exactly why I never learn the way normies learn. Ever. Ever. They pick one path. And it's usually the most boring because it's usually the most like direct fucking, but yeah. So, yeah. What he said there, absolutely true. But the difference now is on Rogue, I'm picking not the simplest path, but the straightest path by picking damage. And then combining damage with no chat, which I did before too. So I'm keeping that, no chat. But now I'm adding no music. I'm using in-game sounds. No comms while playing. No analysis while playing, meaning I can do it in the game, but not like... So while I play, I try to adapt to what I think is the best while I play. But I'm not going, oh, I should have done this that round, and then I should have done this, and then I try to keep on playing, and then I lose focus on how I'm playing because I'm thinking, like, I don't do that part at all. The post-game analysis depends on how I feel. Like, where are my margins energy-wise? Is it worth spending time on that, or do I just play the game? And this is also part of the whole taking breaks and being able to zone out, as I call it, which is basically making a choice, sticking by it, no matter what. And then being relaxed within that choice that I make, even if things are super hectic. Which is why I'm experiencing zoning out in the middle of the absolute... It's basically the eye of the storm. You are inside of the eye of the storm. It's absolute chaos, but you kind of experience Zen because it's just so calm inside there that you can finally relax, kind of thing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What else? There's more, but I can't remember. Is there any alt that I should play? Because LS is so goddamn good. I should go to bed, but he's so goddamn good, man. I can't stop. I can't stop, man. He's... Damn it, I need to sleep. I need to sleep. It's been too late. Like, this week has been... And the weekend will be insane, too. So I need to get out. They added some decor shit, someone said. They removed some pack, and then they added singles. They kept the singles, removed the packages, and then I have no fucking idea. I don't care. Right. Thanks for watching. I'm done. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll listen off stream to this specific part, and then I'll continue tomorrow, because I'll probably backtrack anyways. Peace. Take care.
Coaching is all about the future. I don't care about telling you the correct path. If that's what you want, then yeah, I've done that in some sessions. I've gotten people,